BetOnline is your number one source for all your summer sports this season, from MLB, golf, NBA, and NHL playoff stats. All the latest stats, news, and scores are available to you to follow your favorite teams. So get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds of just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
What's up, fellas?
So we're back with Disco's favorite segment of the show, the Lucha Libre Minute segment. I want to tell you something. I saw the, first of all, what a mark. I saw a picture of you with the Young Bucks. And how do you pronounce that name on your hat? Because somebody sent me that in the mail, and
Oh, Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that like a Southern Walmart or something?
We talked about it on here with somebody.
Talking about this.
Yeah.
We're right.
Yeah, it's like a gas station, but it's
like a Wawa, kind of like a Wawa on those steroids, right?
Yeah, my girlfriend's from Texas. She loves Buc-ee's, and I went for the first time with her out there, like at midnight when I missed my flight out of Houston, had to fly the next day, and It was pretty awesome. I mean, it's huge and decently priced. I'll say that compared to what I'm used to in Vegas.
Is it more like a Wawa or a Konnan?
I've been to Walmart. I've never been to Wawa, but I mean, it's like if you're driving from, I don't know, East Coast, West Coast, that's a perfect spot to stop because you can buy anything there. I mean, it's an amazing stop. It's like a gas station times 10. They got great food. Everything is good. Everything.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You went to the show, obviously, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How close were you to the action?
I was right below the hard cam, so maybe 7 rows off the floor.
All right. And so you sat there for 5 hours and watched that?
I sat there for, once Thunder Rosa hit the ring, which was approximately like...
Well, that's a pre-show, right?
20. Yeah, so I'll say, give or take 5 hours.
Okay, let me ask you a question. You were not tired? You had any time to go, this is a long show?
My legs were hurting a bit. I'll say that. And I went to the...
Why are your legs hurting?
Too. The seats at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, those weren't very comfortable compared to like T-Mobile Arena.
Kind of like sitting on a Spirit Airlines seat instead of Delta, right? I guess,
Yeah, give or take. But, like I prefer Southwest than Delta. I've flown Delta too in economy once, and it wasn't that great. So I'm like,
really?
Everything.
Okay, well here, let me tell you why I prefer Delta. Okay, first of all, I don't care which way flying to Atlanta, I don't care because I take the first flight after work, no sleep. I get on the plane, sleep, so deal whatever. I take Southwest or Delta, but coming back, I like to take an early evening flight, and so I need the TV on Delta. Southwest doesn't have the TV, so I can't fly back.
I mean, I'll take my tablet or my phone.
Let me tell you why. To me, Delta is better than Southwest. Also, that you can upgrade the first class.
True that.
Right off the riff. You know what I'm saying?
That's the K100 deep pockets right there, right?
Cool. Let me ask you another question, Harry. Did you have a press pass?
Yes, I did.
Were you in the media scrum?
Yes, I was.
Did you ask a question?
I asked a question to...
Let's hear the question. What did you ask?
Osprey and to Tony Khan.
Let's hear your questions.
Tanahashi was there. So I asked Tanahashi...
And he sat there during the whole thing, right?
Yeah, nobody had asked him a question, and I was literally the last question. So I was like, let me get him involved. So I asked him if...
How did you introduce yourself? Harry Ruiz from the Raider
Nation? No, Raider Nation Radio. I work for the radio station out here in Vegas as well. So I got the credential through them. So with them. And I asked them that the Forbidden Door shows have been successful both for gates and for pay-per-view sales. So I asked Tanahashi if on the New Japan side, if they would be interested on doing that kind of show, a co-promotion, but in Japan. And Tanahashi, it took him a while, and he was like, I didn't understand like 80% of what you said.
Okay, that's a lame question. What was the other questions you asked?
I wish he would have put up the phone. Shibata would have lent him his phone, and then in the Okada voice, they would have said, "Shut up."
Did I tell you guys I had a press pass, but they didn't send it to me till Saturday, and I'm like, oh well, I know I got a flight schedule.
Philly.
Yeah, I was like, well,
what other questions did you ask, Harry?
Yeah, but
I like when the press goes over on Joe.
Yeah, JoJo. They like Collision. They didn't confirm until like a week and a half before the show, and Double or Nothing they confirmed until the week of the show over here too. So that's pretty standard.
Well, what were the other questions you asked?
Osprey. Well, they just announced that the Hart tournament winners would be challenging for the World Championships out in Wembley at All In. So I asked Osprey if he had heard about that and if he was interested in participating in it.
That's another terrible question. Okay, what was the third question?
Do that.
What was the third question asked?
So
he's going to say, no, I'm not interested in that.
He said he hadn't heard about it, and he was like, hey, he wants to go. Well, Tony then said that Osprey was getting prepared for the match, which is true because Osprey was the first match of the pay-per-view portion.
What question did you ask Tony?
Tony got involved in the Forbidden Door question. Okay, in the Forbidden Door question because Tanahashi couldn't answer.
All right, Harry. From now on, if you're going to be a contributor, keep it 100. Okay, we're going to give you a question to ask if you're going to be in these media scripts. Okay, and if you don't ask the question that's directed to you,
be banned from this show. You get
and the mailbag.
Yeah, and Harry probably should have introduced himself as the K100 Lucha Libre correspondent too.
Why didn't you just ask? Why didn't you ask? Hey, what do you say? Like you open the door here to CMLL, but and AAA, but on Dynamite and Collision, none of the Mexican wrestlers ever seem to win a match. Why is that? That's what you should have said. Like hit a hard. Well, why do the Mexican wrestlers hardly ever put over on Dynamite?
You know, now that I think about it, they were in LA yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Was there any Mexican town? Oh, yeah, the gauntlet match, the CMLL guys, right?
Yeah, and I got part of the Lucha Minute or Lucha segment is that Penta and Phoenix wrestled on the Rampage tapings that went down right after Dynamite happened as well. Yeah. So Penta wrestled Konosuke Takeshita, which that match should be very good. And
should have been on Dynamite.
You should have asked this.
Rampage.
Do you think
you're in LA?
What's the guy's name? Huh? The Abrahantes guy. What's his name? His first name?
Yeah, Alex Abrahantes.
You should have asked. Do you think Alex Abrahantes is bringing Penta down?
Oh, and you know what? So I was there. So they had them. They had the Spanish and the English announcers side by side ringside.
I saw Alex standing up when somebody
Swerve when Mayweather was behind Swerve. Right. So I bought the pay-per-view on Fight 2 to watch it afterwards at home, and I started listening to it in Spanish. Here's the craziest part. So the trios match, I think, was the second match of the show or the third.
Right.
Abrahantes started ringside. It's Sunday. You know what that means in Spanish. Double or Nothing, the 5-year anniversary, blah, 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 blah. Pitch goes to his announcer teammate, and then he's like, okay, I got to go because I got to go help the Lucha Bros in their match tonight. And he left the other guy by himself for like 3.5 matches. I'm like, on the English side, you got 4 announcers all the time. On the Spanish side, Abrahantes got to leave and just have one guy announce 4 matches in a row, which I thought is ridiculous.
Well, Harry, if I were you, maybe say, hey, you know what? I'm a contributor.
The hashtag that you got, I've got it like that.
No, you should just come to ask.
I speak Spanish. When this guy leaves for 40 minutes, I can fill in for him.
Yeah. Why don't you see if you can get on the Spanish broadcast next time they're in Vegas?
We'll figure it out next time they're in town. That's for sure. But yeah, so that was part of the Lucha segment that Penta and Phoenix will be tomorrow on TNT. I'm thinking 3:30 p.m. is the show.
Should not be on Rampage.
Yeah, Rampage. True, Rampage, not Rampage.
So we do these reviews, right? Of the pay-per-view sometimes when we watch them. So this time I did watch Double or Nothing. I'm going to go over each match real quick, and you give me your impression. Okay. Well, this will be our review.
Just go over it. Yeah. We'll get Harry's impression.
And you will get mine too. Osprey versus Strong.
Incredible. I mean, watching Will Osprey in person I've seen him in person maybe 4 times wrestled, 3 times here in Vegas, once in PWG in Bola. Oh no, and once at WrestleCon, like when he was brand new to the States. It might have been his first weekend in the States. And that guy always delivers and has the fans at the edge of their seats. I love that match.
How many stars did you give the match?
5.5. Nah, just kidding.
Really? The gavel's broke. the guy almost broke his neck on a move outside. You give that 5 stars?
That was weird because the guy even pushed his legs out to help him rotate, and he still landed on his neck. He could have really gotten.
Right?
Of course he did. He could have. The bump itself you're surprised he didn't
he kept
get hurt then.
So
yeah.
how bad could he have been hurt?
Well, that's what you're saying. But the visual, if he was down and out, seeing that, you would have just like the visual was bad. I mean, like,
okay, let me say this. This match was great. What a way to start off the show. 2 great workers. You know, the International Championship changes hands. You know, Osprey, you're right. When you see him in person, he's incredible. I saw him in PWG. I saw him in Impact. He was incredible. Disco doesn't like his promos because they haven't been that great lately, but he can cut a really good
promo. I say he can cut a good promo. He speaks well. It's just I don't like the context of the stuff he's talking about. Like you know what I'm saying? Like when you got a promo and your promo is calling out a Japanese guy you wrestled 7 years ago. It's like, dude, I'm not interested in that. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's saying a lot of stuff that doesn't interest me, but I could tell if you gave the guy some stuff to chew on, he could probably get a really good promo.
Heck, last week on Wednesday, after he lost that tag team match with Orange Cassidy against Trent and Roderick Strong, they taped the promo backstage and they posted it on social media, and it was very, very good. And then they aired it on Collision on Saturday too, because they were like, heck, that was very good, and they should start doing that more often. If something you do backstage is really good and you post it on social media, do it on your TV show on Friday either.
Or how about this? If there's something that's good content on the other shows, put it on the next show so we know what happened. Like the latest, which is what they did.
Why is that so hard to understand?
Like we missed. They didn't have one of the best promos of all their TV. Was it Chris Daniels?
That was great.
Chris Daniels. I'm like, why was this not part of the package for this match?
Right.
We literally had to show it on this to get like this. So this is what they.
Let me tell you something. I don't know how you feel about them, but poor Bennett and Tabern, they come off so JoJo. They had nothing to Strong since they got there. Okay, and they're not a menace or threat to anybody. They always get beat up. You know, Wardlow came out to powerbomb the guy and the ref caught him. They do that way too much now. I think 3 matches the ref threw the people out from ringside. You know, it's going to come to a point where people aren't going to pop anymore. Bro, I thought Strong looked great in this match. He's so underrated as a worker, bro. And I love the part where Strong was selling a neck injury and Osprey kind of looked concerned. Callis ran up into the thing and he goes, hit him with your Tiger Driver. He goes, he's going to the hospital anyways. That was good. That was great.
But even the beginning of the match, Konnan, where he was going to hit Roderick Strong with the hidden blade while they were doing their pose.
Yeah. That
was a great start. I mean, from beginning to end.
I like to put over whoever was dressed as Jesus Christ in the audience.
Bro, he was there Saturday and Sunday, and the wrestlers were popping so strong for him every time. Like, they would see him, and they would go take a photo with him or high-five him.
Let me tell you something. I was on the first Jericho cruise, right? And there was this little part that me, Dio Moore, and Callis always hung out with where all the food was. They had a ping pong table there, right? Mm-hmm. And it was during Halloween, so Jericho threw like a Halloween festival, and some guy was dressed as Jesus. And I was at the ping pong table, faded on Fireball and beating Dio Moore, and everybody. This came in there talking, and I beat Jesus, bro.
You beat Jesus?
Awesome.
Let's get to the next match. It took us the
MJF return.
Incredible. I mean, the fans loved Adam Cole coming back. But when MJF,
he was coming back, because when Cole was talking, they were chanting MJF's name.
Because the last time we saw MJF was with Adam Cole during the World's End pay-per-view with the devil thing. And
right. Here's my question: why was Adam Cole welcoming MJF back with open arms if that's the last thing that they had up there? You know,
he knew.
Hey, let's squash it. Yeah,
I was like, hey, instead of running away, he's still in the ring and was like, "Whoa, hey, come on, bro, chachos."
No, I would have heard him right away, and MJF runs around after him like Braun Strowman around the ring. I thought that would have been good.
I thought so. From what I've heard, is that Adam Cole isn't completely cleared, but that was a safe bump that he could take for his injury. So he took the bump, and now they can write him off of TV for a bit, and MJF kind of like closes that chapter for now.
And
my source also
why wasn't MJF in on Dynamite? Yes,
I hated that.
I don't know. That was weird, dude. I don't know.
I put Dynamite on, and there was no MJF return, which they didn't mention until 9:45. Because if they told you early, people were going to change the channel. And then I didn't see was Swerve on it at all. I didn't see. I'm like, where's the world champion? Where's MJF?
Swerve was on it, wasn't
he? Wrestled.
He had a match.
Yeah.
What in the first half?
He had a match and he had a thing at the end. He had three different things. Joe, look,
he had a match from 9 to 10.
He had a match. He had a promo in the back, and he had closed the show.
And he had a match.
Well, I didn't watch the first hour, Konnan. I didn't see the first hour.
And how about the second part?
I missed them apparently.
Yeah, he opened the he had the first match of the show. But yeah, MJF, the fans were going crazy for him, and hopefully he turns back to his completely heelish ways, because that's the best.
You know what?
I gotta go to work. We're taking way too long with this.
We're recording tomorrow too if we don't squeeze everything in.
I'm aware of that, but I prefer to get this.
I know.
This review is taking forever. What's the next match?
Okay. The Lucha Bros and their accountant Abrahantes.
I mean, they were over, but versus the Bang Bang Gang.
The Bang Bang Pew Pew Gang.
Yeah. That match kind of brought the fans a little bit down. I mean, the Lucha Bros, they got their high spots, they got their big moves, but fans weren't really into it until Juice Robinson came back and
that got a big pop.
Yeah, that got a big pop. That closed. That had the fans really excited, and the Bang Bang Gang retained their titles.
And bro, the Guns are great bump takers and very entertaining. I like them a lot.
Very entertaining. Mm-hmm.
I know. So you popped for the Lucha Bros, the Death Triangle entrance.
Yeah,
they used to do that, but it had been over a year and a half since they had been the three of them together. Yeah. But me personally, I prefer the Bang Bang Gang entrance. I think it's really cool with the light, with them spitting the water and all of that. I think it's very cool too.
Deeb versus Storm.
The character is very over. The fans love Tony Storm. The match, I feel like it brought down the fans a little bit. And after being very high with Osprey, the show kind of like hit a lull there, even though Tony Storm and Mariah May are very over with the fans.
She wasn't really healing Deeb.
That's another thing. I know that you guys saw it more as Serena being the heel, and
they were booing her last week.
Here's the problem with Tony Storm. Okay, she's so good in her character. She's going to get babyface reaction, but they book her as a heel, like in a heelish faction, and it's like,
bro, people are cheering her.
So I know. So the fans are not. They're in this gray area when she works. It's like they brought Deeb in originally as a babyface because Storm was healing, but then Storm's so good at her character, they started booing Deeb. So then Deeb had to play heel because they're cheering Storm. So it's like, it's just weird. Yeah.
I know you guys saw Serena going with the shoe as a heel move, but if you go back to a week behind on TV, the reason why she was aggressive was because Tony Storm attacked Serena Deeb, stole the towel, stripped down, used the flag. So they were continuing the storyline.
Dude, when she sat on that chair and did the Boston Crab, that's not a babyface thing to do. But at the end of the day, Tony Storm has so much personality that they're going to boo Deeb next to her because she's kind of like...
They're going to boo anybody next to her right now.
Yeah. And I think the reason that this match for you is a little bit down is because the first three matches were so fast, and this was more like counters and submissions. It was pretty good. I will say this. I like when Storm did the rope break with her teeth. That made me crack up. And at the end, when she was wrapped up with the girl on the ramp and the confetti was falling.
And they went down. They were like laying down on the ramp and everything.
Cassidy and Beretta.
Same. I mean,
bro, how much heat does Beretta have there live?
No, I mean, there were fans that were chanting and that they were into the storyline, but I'll say it was like maybe 30%, 40%.
I was hoping, and I told Disco said maybe that, as a heel, he'll be much better. So far, he's still lame to me, still crickets and tumbleweeds.
Hey, hopefully he's able to turn it around now that he's going to be on TV with your boy.
The Chris Shibata hook.
I'll be honest, I took it as my bathroom break. I came back and I was like, "What's that on the floor?" I had to zoom in with my camera. I was like, "Oh,
dice.
it's dice." Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that was Chris that he took a bump on them. Those
then
did not look like they have any give.
The table didn't break.
The
they had to improvise. You had the run-ins by Big Bill. I was hoping it was going to be Sammy Guevara, but it ended up being the bounty hunter Brian something or whatever his name is.
Why is this belt even a thing? It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
and now the guy that showed up with the mask, the bounty hunter, now he's going to be under the Jericho learning tree. Good luck making that guy a star. He's going to be like Action Andretti Part 2.
100%. That's how I see it, and I'm an AEW fan.
How about Moxley and Takeshita?
Heck, that was hard hitting, and the fans actually got very into that match. I mean, Moxley, when you talk about him in Vegas, he used to live here. He had the run-in to end the first ever AEW show. He's going to be beloved by the AEW fans, and they were very into that match too. That one was the one that kicked it up and started getting the positive momentum once again that they had at the beginning.
Yeah, that was a very physical match, and he gave Tak a lot. I mean, Tak did not look bad in this, even though they treat him like a mid-carder.
That's the thing. Takeshita, in my opinion, is one of the best wrestlers that they have in that company, but they just don't know how to book him in a way where he's going to be a star.
That seems to be a thread in that company. All right. So Copeland and
Malachi Black.
Yeah.
So the fans were very into like when it seemed like the House of Black was going to betray Malachi Black because the talk is that he might be going back to WWE. So everybody bit that phone and thought it was going to happen. It didn't happen. And then the spot happened and everybody got very uncomfortable with it because everybody went from being very excited with him going to the top of the cage to then once he landed on his feet, it was like, what is that? And then Gangrel came out. I was like, all right, that's a nice spot that happened and it ended, but it was difficult to see when you're in person with that type of cage. But it was a roller coaster where it was like people got very excited and then very low and then a little bit excited and then the match ended.
Yeah,
I'm ultra disappointed.
Why?
In what dude, these guys are very, very like look at the amount of guys over 40-something years old that have performed in wrestling lately that are all getting hurt multiple times. Punk 2 or 3 times. Edge or Christian Torres tries. The only guy that doesn't ever get hurt is Jericho, but he never got hurt. Back in the day,
he's been hurt before. Remember that time he took that bump off that thing that he hit the pad and he still got hurt?
Blood and guts.
Yeah,
I think he was even in a sling for a while.
Yeah, but that's like the most. Okay, but here's my point: is I'm disturbed when I see these commodities, these older commodities. Okay, guys like even Sting and stuff for everybody. And they're getting paid a fortune. And it's like, bro, they put themselves or they're booked by Tony to be put in precarious, dangerous situations. And they voluntarily go out there and do these risky spots. And these guys are getting paid a ton of money. They're getting hurt. And now they're off TV. And it's like, I don't know why you're not protect. These guys are like literally going to AEW. And it's like, oh, great. We could do like CZW wrestling now. And they're bleeding all over the place and doing crazy bumps. They protect these guys. They won't have to do that. They're already super over.
Yeah,
right. Like when Sting had that match where he dove off the thing onto the table to his chin. I was like, why is Sting doing this? It's like, come on, here. Like, bro, I'm telling you, they're tarnishing their legacy by marking out for indie wrestling at that age and their career and getting hurt. If they're all healthy and like fine, but you're getting hurt doing this. It's not worth it. It's disturbing to me to watch that happen. You know?
Okay.
It seems like they want to do stuff that they weren't allowed to do in WWE,
and you're getting hurt. I was just sharing that. We talked about this. They said that Jericho on the Learning Tree should do a segment on safety and talk about how all these guys are being stupid. You're doing like, could you imagine anyone others like on the learning tree has a big thing on the safety. That's our buzzword of the week. And he's showing all these guys getting hurt, and he's talking about don't be a stupid idiot. You know, it's like, bro, how much you would make?
We're doing a show with them tomorrow. Bring it up.
Yeah, right.
How about the Young Bucks in their promo on Wednesday that they said they told Adam Copeland, "Hey, go break a leg."
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No. Mercedes versus Willow.
Willow is ridiculously over with this fan base. They have to keep pushing this woman. They have to keeping her in great programs. I think the Statlander one should be good, but after that, you still got to have like a year planned of good stuff with Willow because that fan base loves her. Mercedes, she got a lot of love at the beginning, but then when Willow came out, it was like, hey, everybody was on the homegrown talent side of the things, and I think the match was entertaining.
Yeah, it was hard hitting. Like they didn't hold anything back.
I've heard the fans wanted Willow to win, though. They kind of took the wind out of the sails at the end.
Bro, you had to know Monet was going over. You don't pay by the most.
Yeah, I mean,
in the history of.
But the fan, but I think, but what I was saying is I didn't see it, but I heard the reaction live was kind of like that was
sure it was.
People kind of disappointed.
She's really over.
And I'll say this: when I was in line for the Young Bucks meet and greet for the sneakers, I was right behind the family that flew in from the UK and their little kid. I think he was 12, 13 years old. He was like,
"Wait a second! You had a press pass? You waited in line
the day before Saturday? There was a meet and greet.
Harry, take your press pass." Show it to the people, hey, and walk right in and go right to the front and go up to the hey, can I get a word with you? I'm with Raider Nation.
This is my problem with the wrestling press today. The problem with the wrestling press. See that Harry's masquerading as a reporter and a journalist, and in the meantime, the day before, he's in line for a meet and greet.
Hey, but
that's a great point, right?
Here you go. Here you go.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I wasn't getting on my feet. I wasn't cheering. I wasn't doing anything. There were people in front of me that were media members. That MJF came out. It stands up, clapping.
I need to bring something.
They have
up.
belts. Do they
media members?
Harry, did you begin your question at the press conference? So Will Osprey said, "You going? Well, Harry Ruiz, Raider Nation, congratulations on your victory." Did you say that?
Nope. Oh, and here's the weirdest part. So,
of course, you like that the media scores like, hey, congratulations on your victory.
What was your strategy to beat Willow?
No, that's the thing. They were speeding through the press conferences because they've lasted very long in the past. And
it says it was 90 minutes.
Yeah, and in the past, they had lasted like 2.5 hours. I remember when it was at T-Mobile Arena last year, I didn't leave the arena until midnight.
So let me tell you something that happened in this match that was really traumatizing for me. And
Mercedes?
And it was very heelish. When Statlander attacked Willow, she took off her friendship bracelet. Can you believe that?
That Willow had given her.
Yeah.
That Willow had given her.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
What was it?
So it was a triple main event. That was the first one of the triple main event.
So the
triple main event.
That's how they booked it. Swerve against
Christian and Cage.
Christian Cage versus Swerve Strickland for the.
That against Christian and Cage. Swerve versus Christian Cage. How was that?
That man. I mean, I knew who was going to win. Same thing as the previous match. These guys made me think that they might be doing the switching the belt because of the way they booked the match. I thought it was really good. I thought that both guys delivered and they didn't have to do any crazy stunts.
Because they were telling a story and they took their time. Cage was great here. Swerve was good here. Great also. Good.
And by the way, Floyd Mayweather, I saw him literally walk in as the match was about to start with his whole entourage sitting front row. And
how many guys do you have? About 4 or 5 guys?
Like 12.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, they took over.
Well, that's right. He's to come.
Oh, he's definitely going to work with them.
And then the ref threw everybody out. Another match.
When Mayweather used to come into Sapphire, he would walk in and the guy would have his money bag with him, his bag of money, and he would pull out the money and he would walk up to every employee that had a suit and tie on, and he'd walk up and give everybody $100.
That's good.
Hey, imagine having that type.
Best temper in Vegas by far. And he's still one of the biggest heels in the town, which is crazy. But people like that work in Vegas are like, yeah, this guy's a babyface. He gives
Oh, yeah.
a lot of money, right?
Okay, last match, main event.
It had a super hot start, but it just like, I think that's where the fans felt that it went too long. The second half of the match, it kind of went down, and then they hung Darby up, and at first it was cool, but then it became uncomfortable where it was like, yo, that guy's still hanging up there. Help him out. Bring him down. Do something.
Yeah, it's kind of been hit by a bus already, so it doesn't really matter. I heard the announcers...
Did you notice that they tried, Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, tried to run him over with his scapegoat bus?
Yes, with the bus. Yeah, I saw that.
Because he got hit by a bus in real life.
Right, the scapegoat thing at the front, that's very JoJo. But the bus spot, I thought that was funny. But let me say this. What did people say when you saw Tony Khan rolling down the ramp live?
They were shocked, but they're like,
what are they doing?
From the screen that Jungle Boy, that Jack Perry pulled Tony Khan, and it took forever between him pulling Tony Khan to Tony Khan coming out with Jack Perry.
Let me tell you this. There's been 2 bookers, okay, that have decided to be on-screen characters in the history of the business. Okay, Vince Russo is one of them, and as an on-screen character, he was terrible because he didn't know how to sell properly. He just didn't know what to do. Like he just cut promos, but like when it came time to sell, he looked awful, like his clues. Tony's the same way. Like guys that do not know how to perform in front of a crowd, like just do some simple, basic things right. You know, you shouldn't put them on TV. It ruins everything.
I'll say this. I immediately forgot Tony was out there because that's when the flamethrower thing happened.
The announcer supposedly buried the spot because when Jack Perry was going backstage, they stooged it off and said, "What's all that stuff all over him?" or something like that, like all the...
So I noticed that he was like soaking wet.
Right, yeah.
And it was like, okay, he's going to get turned on fire.
Right. But the announcers are not supposed to tip that off. Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's the second year in a row where they put in... When you have Anarchy in the arena, it's fun for the fans in attendance, having all this stuff coming to you. And like I try to get to the other side of the arena to see some of the stuff going on in the concourse, but they had it blocked off. So I just went back to my seat, and the fans had a lot of fun. Like I said, halfway through the match, they went a little bit down. And then at the end, Jack Perry, just like last year, Wheeler Yuta was the one that got the pin in Anarchy in the arena. This year was Jack Perry.
You know what I heard? Tell me if this is accurate. When the music stopped playing, the crowd kind of went flat.
True, and it happened the previous 2 years as well.
Right, but it played a song, then the music went off, and it was like, "Hey, what's going on?" You like to feel it. You kind of like you lose a vibe, right? Yeah.
But that's like something where it's like you're not used to it. Having a wrestling match with music going on and everybody getting into it so much. It didn't.
I thought it was funny when they came out and the Young Bucks played like instrumental music, remember? And then
that's their new song.
Yeah, and Daniels was like, "Take that and play the best." That was funny. And
$200,000.
$200,000. Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Oh, incredible.
And they stopped it right as the song was about to end because it's like, hey, we played again. That's $200,000 more that we got to pay for that song. I mean, overall, it's AEW.
As a matter of fact, bro, you were sitting there. The people were chanting, "We want music."
Yeah, the same thing happened the last 2 years, Konnan. Fans were like, "We want music," because the first year it was Wild Thing.
How would you summarize the show?
I mean, overall, it's fun. For fans that are AEW fans that go to the show, I even had friends that were WWE fans. One that's a Raider employee that went for the first hour because then he had something else to do. And he was completely amazed by Osprey. He loved the MJF promo. He enjoyed the Lucha Bros match. He's like, "Bro, next time I'm in town, they're in town. He has to go to the whole show." I'm like, yeah, man, if you enjoy wrestling, that's for you. If you want a 2-hour promo, that's what TV is for the other company.
They actually missed. I didn't see Anarchy in the arena. Tell me if they did this. Did they use any any of the MGM hotel?
Alliance?
Well, I'm just saying, there's like so many different spots that you could do. Like, you could have the guys fight outside and stumble into a comedy club, like, and a guy's up there, like, cut jokes, and they go by, they stop, they're like, the guy great hands in the bike, and they try to do so. Bro, there's, like, so much stuff you could have done, because you're in Vegas, like maybe there's, like,
So they're trying to
the less shows is going on.
What was the match?
You go and start dancing with you. Yeah.
What was the match then where they fought into the club and Konnan was a DJ? What was that? Anarchy?
Right.
Stadium Stampede.
Right.
Okay.
Stadium Stampede, right.
But that's the thing. Back then, there was no fans in attendance, so you could take that match all over the place. Right here, they were trying to keep it with fans being able to watch the action instead of just sitting there watching it on a
screen. So I'm going to tell you
Konnan has been a character on AEW twice. Yeah. One time he was a killer, and another time he was a DJ. What do you think?
And I've been there like 4 times.
Yeah, and another time he went face to face with Tully.
And there was that the problem with
time
Tully.
I went up with
Oh yeah, where you torched Tully and he didn't even have any comeback.
That was amazing.
That was funny. Cornette described that promo. He goes, I don't know if they didn't give Tully any verbiage here, because if you were keeping score of that, he goes, what was it, 100-0?
And that was the day that you just got there right before the show, right?
Yeah, I did. I just thought of that up the top. We didn't have a chance to go over anything, bro, because I got there late.
That's why I sang those notes.
So this is what I said about
you didn't use any of Joe's notes for me.
I was trying to show him what not to say.
Bro, don't make me destroy you.
I know.
Let me tell you about this show. Some good, some bad. Okay, I really like Strickland and Cage, and I really like Osprey versus Strong. Okay, with an honorable mention to the Willow match. But this was, for me, very, very, very long, overbooked, and a lot of hot shotting.
I mean, that's a fair assessment. For the fans that watched it, that are AEW fans, like myself,
yeah,
I would agree. I would say it's a good time. It can be a little
too long
bit shorter.
for me, bro.
Ain't got to be 10 matches in my opinion, but they did it. 2 quick things. I bumped into Jimmy Jacobs on Saturday after Collision. Right. I asked him if he was aware of him being a member of the disco list and why, and he said he had heard about it and that it has been 2 years since he has last had his fingernails or toenails.
We need photographic proof.
Yeah,
he was wearing flip-flops. I saw his feet. There was no.
That's not
no
good enough for me. I need you could be cahoots.
I look at you as the credibility of Michael Cohen on the stand. So I would definitely need see some more evidence, because I don't. Yeah,
we need photographic proof. Why didn't you flip out your camera and take a picture?
Right.
Hey, if you would have thought I was a freak with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, take a sneaky picture of his
I got to show them.
Take a picture of your feet.
Yeah, let me lick your tail.
I'm doing this to show these guys that you don't do it anymore and to take you off the disco list.
Right.
Besides, Harry already got caught snapping a picture of Harley Cameron's feet, so he's already in hot water a little bit. He's got to watch.
I didn't see her. And last thing, here's the Young Buck sneakers.
Okay.
Really?
And by the way,
those are way too bulky for me, man. I like the Yeezys, I like stuff that's not that bulky anymore.
And they saw me wearing the sneakers during the press conference, and they gave me this little belt that is for the sneakers. So that's it was cool. It was a cool weekend.
They're cool guys.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. They haven't done a meet and greet in Vegas since like 2021, maybe.
Yeah, they're great guys.
So
I love working with them.
Yeah, they were amazing. So shout out to AEW. That was fun.
Anything else?
Nope. Just there's Fantastica Mania with CMLL. One last note that I had there: Takahashi, Zack Sabre Jr., and a guy named Bad Dude Tito are traveling from Japan to Mexico to be a part of Fantastica Mania in this show. That's a Consejo Mundial and CMLL. The Consejo Mundial and New Japan thing, but you know that
they do every year.
Yeah. So shout out. And one last thing. Disco, a man of his word. He paid his bet. The Dodgers.
I saw the pictures. That was very nice food there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was amazing. So shout out to Disco Inferno. Shout out to Glenn Gilberti, the man. He delivered on his promise. And now, when the Dodgers go and face the Braves, we're going to do it all over again, right?
Yes, absolutely. It was good to see the Dodgers go on a 5-game losing streak, too, after we ate dinner. So I was happy.
Oh, the Dodgers were like on a 5-game losing streak?
They were, and then they had a day off. And then they regrouped. Well, when they got to play the Mets,
yeah. We were about to get beat by the Mets. We came back in the last.
Bro, the Mets are maybe the worst team in baseball. Did you see that baseball player that said they're the worst team, and now they just got rid of him?
No,
they threw his glove out to the stands.
Yeah,
said in his press conference, "I'm the worst team ever."
To the minors. Yeah.
No, he got cut.
No, they got option. They got redesignated for
DFA, designated for assignment.
They don't fire. Yeah, they go send them back to the minors. Yeah.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.